Hello my beautiful love goods, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video I am building another tiny house, and this one is another witchy little tiny house. Now this one's a little bit of a different style of witch. It's not so like stereotypical witchy, if you will. It's a bit more of just like a plant witch, a bit more of a modern day witch, if you will. But the cool thing with this build is that it is base game only, so you don't need any custom content, mods, CC, I just said that twice, DLC, anything. You just need the base game to download this house and play in it. So yeah, and I am building this on a 20 by 15 lot in the beautiful world of Oasis Springs, and I really loved the shape of this one and like the colors that I used and everything. I went pretty simple with the shape, but I kind of added this little section onto the side there where it's like a little sunroom where the bedroom is. It's beautiful. And then this little section here, I played around with the glass roofs in this little porch area, and I did kind of like a diagonal awning. I don't know, it kind of works, but yeah. And then I did go in with quite a lot of debug landscaping because it's free, and plus, you know, with the base game we're quite limited, so you know, even if I wasn't just using the base game, I would still use a lot of these items because they're really, really nice. I added some cactuses and some agave plant. Cacti? It's cacti, right? Yes, I added some cacti and a couple agave plants as well. And then I added this kind of it's not a fence, I guess it's more like a wall, but like I just added this little fence wall thing from the debug section around the property, just so that it can kind of, you know, added a little bit of something, like added a little something, you know, I don't know how to explain it. I just thought it looked nice. But then I continued to add some, you know, like some rocks and some kind of, it's not like dead grass, but it looks like grass that would grow in like a deserty area because it just looks a little bit more hardy, I guess. But yeah, I gave them a nice little backyard back here. I eventually add some, you know, garden pots, planter pots, whatever you want to call them, and some little sections, some plots, if you will. I added some garden plots and some garden pots. Anyways, but yeah, I just thought they would grow a lot of stuff back here. I actually eventually placed some lavender back here because I thought maybe they grew a lot of lavender for some reason. I don't know. It's totally original, I know, but they have a really nice back porch, I will say that. You know, they love the outdoors, we'll say, so they have a really pretty back porch where they can just kind of, you know, hang out and, you know, maybe propagate plants. I don't know, it's just, I just wanted a vibe, you know, it's a planty witchy house, I guess. But yeah, and it is, I did make sure, even though it is base game only, I did switch it to a tiny house residential lot just to see how many tiles it was by the time I was finished doing the structure, and it was 77 tiles, so it is technically a tiny house. It's probably not that many, like interior wise. It's probably around maybe 50, we'll say. I'm not sure, because there is, you know, a front porch and a pretty large back porch, so it could easily be around 50, which, you know, I will say is a tiny house. So there's my argument. But anyways, I made sure, obviously, since this is a plant witch house, there's going to be a lot of plants, or at least a good amount. Not like to the point that it's ridiculous, but, you know, a respectable amount. But yeah, I really loved how it looked. Also, this, like, I don't know what you would call it. It's like a ivy that's like growing up the wall there that I placed from the debug section. For some reason, whenever I placed it underneath that glass awning, the way that the plant kind of curves itself, it kind of looks like it's just fits perfect there. I don't know how to describe it. You can kind of look at it there. I don't know why, but that just satisfied me so much, and I want to do that again, because I think it'll just make everything look it just looks natural, and just it looks like it's supposed to be there. I don't know. It was a revelation for me that I was very unexpected, but it was nice. But anyways, so yeah, I was going to go with modern windows with that sunroom, but I just didn't feel like that was witchy. I just felt like modern windows would have just killed the vibe, you know. So I just used those ones from the base game. Of course, it's all base game, but it's those one like mega windows or something like that. And then here I was starting to furnish it. It's really pretty. I really, really like it. You get the beautiful, like the sun rays coming through the glass roof, and you can see the detailing because of that glass roof pattern. It looks really nice. That's kind of my favorite glass roof pattern. I think that's the one that I use the most because it's just nice. It just adds some nice shadow effects. That's really it. But also right now in my, like, as I was building this, you can see how pretty the lighting is in this like kitchen living room area. There is modern windows there, but I used a like dark brown swatch, and that kind of made them look a little bit more traditional, I guess, in a way. And then I used this, it's like a love seat bench thing from the base game. I don't know why I'm saying from the base game. It's all base game, but it's from an update. It was like the Caribbean update or something like that. I think that's what it is. And I thought it looked pretty nice because it has some cushions on it and has some variety of color, and I just thought that looked really good. It has some good detailing also, because there's some things in the base game that are quite simple, but this is just like a nice level of detail. And then yeah, I didn't give them a TV or a computer. Let's be real. They don't need that. They're a witch. In my head, they're a witch that they don't need technology necessarily. At least they don't need like electronics, because they just don't find the need for them. They find their entertainment in books and magic and stuff. And maybe they're just mostly outside all the time. But here is a little altar. I don't want to like disrespect anyone who, you know, may practice or, you know, follow that, you know, religion of any kind. But I did do this little altar, and I covered it with some candles and some crystals. And these are those little like scrolls that I placed. Those are actually treasure maps that your Sims can find, and you can get them in the debug section after typing in bb.showhiddenobjectstrue. But I thought they looked really nice on here. I don't know, it's just a nice little bit of clutter, and I definitely want to use those again because I've never used them before. But yeah, they just look good. I was just very excited about that. But yeah, and then I added this kind of funky bookcase. I kind of imagine that they thrifted it. I don't know. It looks like it may be like IKEA or something inspired by that. But here is where I noticed that the bathroom was a little bit small. I thought I could make it work, but I really didn't want it to be too small of a bathroom. So I just enlarged it a bit so that I could actually fit a sink in here. I know that they don't necessarily need a sink because there's a sink in the kitchen, but anymore with my tiny homes, I do just like it to make it. What am I saying? But I do try to make it a little bit more easy to use instead of just putting one sink. And yeah, but I was also trying this trick here that I actually saw a YouTuber, a simming YouTuber builder person like me do, and I think they're known as Bear and Bun. I didn't actually end up using this trick here because I didn't execute it very well, but they figured out a way where you can use like the canvases from the debug section and overlap it with the this countertop here, and it makes it look like modern cabinets that are like very sleek. I couldn't do it. So I was like, you know, and I'm just gonna, you know, let the people that know how to do this stuff better do their thing. I'm gonna just do mine because I didn't know how to do it. And I even after watching it, I just didn't have that like level of patience, I guess. That's probably what it is. But yeah, and then I made the tiling from, or I added that tiling from an update that we received. A lot of the items from the updates that we receive in the base game, I use quite a lot regularly anyway. Like this bed is also one of them. I didn't like this bed at first too much, but the more that I use it, the more I like it because it's actually pretty simple and traditional, and it looks like a realistic bed, if you know what I mean. Like it looks like something you would see in real life. You know, at least, you know, something that's traditional, you know. But and then I covered their dresser here with a load of bottles, like perfume bottles and nail polish bottles. I usually add those just because I'm like, they need some bottles. Here's some bottles. I don't know. But yeah, and can we please, I hope one day we get some, swatch updates. That's a wishful thinking, I know, but it would be really, really cool if we received some swatches for those curtains that we got. Those, I think they were added with toddlers. I wish that they had some basic, just plain swatches, just one solid color, a white, a black, maybe like a nice brown, maybe even a nice green, maybe even a blue, just some basic solids, not like dual colors, not like crazy patterns. I just want simple. I want basic. That's what I'm needing. But here I am going through the house and just adding some clutter, just some good old standard base game clutter. You know the drill at this point. If you've seen my base game builds, if you've seen any base game builds, you know what clutter that is going to be used. And then I used a couch and chair from another base game update, and then I had to add the proper pride flags on both sides of the house, just because, there needs to be one on the front and the back. And I just thought, you know what? Why not? Gonna add that there just because I want to, not because the base game is limited on items, just because I need to start using it more. But anyways, we are getting closer to the end of this build. I hope you all enjoyed this video and I hope you all enjoyed this build. Do let me know if you have any more suggestions for witchy types of builds. I think this is quite deserty, so I have another build that I want to share with you all, but just keep in mind I'm not particularly sure if it's witchy, but I'm gonna try, okay? But anyways, but yeah, I think that is pretty much it. This is available on the gallery under my username lukeydean. That is LUKEYDEAN. I cannot speak properly today, I'm so sorry. And it is under the hashtag Lukey. But yeah, that is pretty much it. Thank you all so very much for watching. Stay weird and beware of the nargles.